Actually, one bit of news I can bring you, Gareth. One fight we now know will not be happening. talkSPORT understands in the last few moments that Tommy Fury against Jake Paul on the 18th of December is off.
Good.
Tommy Fury has had to pull out due to illness.
Yes, I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this, and obviously Tyron Woodley, who fought Jake Paul last time, is stepping in the former UFC welterweight champion. That wasn't any great shakes, that fight. It's a great pity. There was a lot of intrigue about it. I know Simon's going to wax angrily now, saying that these fights shouldn't be going on anyway. But it's a shame for Tommy.
And the most eventful thing about that fight was John Fury's outburst.
Well, it's just John playing the game and being emotional.
Bit strong though, Gareth. I wanted to ask you, go off piste for a second, and I'm sort of hijacking it. Bradley Skeet versus Hamza Shiraz on Saturday. Hamza Shiraz. I mean, I'm looking at that outcome as being absolutely outrageous. I wanted to know what your view on it was in terms of Shiraz hitting him twice when he's down, the outcome really being affected by that and not being disqualified. I know that Skeet was too brave, but what's your take on it?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. It was an utter disgrace, that decision. It was a definite disqualification for me, in my view. Bradley Skeet was hit twice by Hamza Shiraz when he was already down. Yes, the referee should have jumped in, Steve Gray, and intervened, but for me, Bradley Skeet shouldn't have got up because he was damaged by punches when he was down. And, that was in, I think, the 8th round, and he was stopped in the 9th.
Any chance that this can get overturned, Gareth? Any chance that the British Board of Boxing Control will get involved and look at this? Because it's a scandalous decision.
There's absolutely no way that the board will not examine this in their next stewards meeting because... the world and his dog knows that should have been a disqualification. Yes, Hamza Shiraz is a great up-and-coming prospect, but you cannot punch a boxer when he's down. It's as simple as that. And he landed 2 blows when he was down.
Do I have any right to be cynical and look at it and go, if this was the other way round, that there might have been a different outlook towards this, because Skeet is not an up-and-comer. Everyone wrote him off before the fight. David Ho wrote him off before the fight. Steve Bunce wrote him off before the fight. He was winning that fight by a country mile, but he's not the up-and-comer anymore. The other boy is. Am I being overly cynical, Gareth?
No, you're not being overly cynical. Had it been the other way around, it would have been a scandalous disqualification for Hamza Shiraz. I do think that he was the house fighter. It's a terrible decision, and it needs to be overturned.
Gareth, can I just ask you on a different note as well? I mean, I saw your social media with Dizzy Rascal. Are you doing a collaboration Christmas single, maybe?
Always, Danny. If not with Dizzy Rascal, it will be with you. And I'm going to get you some hair for the new year.
Thank you. I can take some of yours.
Dizzy Rascal. You must ask him to come on our show one lunchtime, whoever Dizzy is. Gareth,
lack of respect, that, James.
Sorry, and I totally retract what I said. Gareth, very interesting to get your take on Jake Paul, Tommy Fury being off, and Simon's, because Simon, you don't give that the time of day, that fight. But you think, there would have been a significant audience for it, and when it does happen, it will get a big following.
Well, I always thought it was an odd fight because it's not a good fight for Jake Paul because he's got to pay Tommy Fury a lot of money, and Tommy, is from a succession of great boxers, a family of boxers, and I always thought that if Tommy Fury stuck to his guns, he'd beat Jake Paul easily. It's very odd that he's pulled out with an injury. I think it's a great shame. I was with Tyson last Thursday at the Apollo with 3,000 fans. I'm with Tyson tomorrow night at Indigo at the O2 Arena in the Gold Star Promotions Homecoming Tour. And I'll get the lowdown from Tyson tomorrow afternoon when we sit in the green room. But Tyson will be disappointed because they were heading out there on Thursday for the Miami fight. And I'm just hoping, by the way, and you haven't asked me, that we do get a Tyson Fury decision in the next week or so over what's happening, because I wonder if Anthony Joshua will step aside. I hope he does, because I think it'd be the best move for him, and let Fury fight Usyk.
Do you think in any way Joshua would be of a mood to step aside, though, Gareth? I know that's what's been mooted behind the scenes, but surely not.
It's a massive negotiation, and he'll be asking for a massive amount of money.
40 million, isn't it? According to Eddie Hearn.
But, well, they're talking about 40 million. There's no way he'll get 40 million to step aside.
No.
But there's a 60 million pound fight waiting for him if Fury beats Usyk and wins the undisputed title. I think it's a very smart move if he does it.
If he does it, if he steps aside.
Yep, I think it's a very smart move.
Might be a smart business move, but I don't think it would.
Is it a smart move financially, which obviously it will be, but is it a smart move credibility-wise?
No.
I think right now, in many ways, the loss to Alexander Usyk in the first fight did shred a lot of his credibility in terms of having the right game plan to go into a fight. He's looking for a new training team. This will afford him an opportunity to fight someone else in the interim. I think boxing sense, he gets the opportunity. He's had a loss. I don't think he beats Usyk in the second fight. I'd love to see him beat Usyk and fight Fury, but I think it makes sense for him in boxing terms not to go straight into the rematch with Usyk. This isn't any Andy Ruiz Usyk's not going to balloon up to 20 stone. I think it's a very dangerous fight for him, and his opportunity to win all the belts will be against Fury, and he's probably got even a better chance maybe against a Tyson Fury who doesn't rate him than an Alexander Usyk who's defending the belts against him.
Wow, we shall see if Joshua is of a mood to step aside, which would allow Usyk to get in the ring with Tyson Fury.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.